Good evening and welcome to our Covenant Healthcare sponsored pregame show on Bay County TV. Jeff Doan and Jason Newsham, glad to have you along tonight. It's rivalry week, and that says it all.
I tell you what, we brought in stat sheets, we brought in a couple other things, and you may as well throw them right out the window. And what I like about it is it's going to have a playoff feel, especially if you're a Western fan, and it's going to have a keep your rival out of the playoff if you're a Bay City Central fan. So I think you're going to see a lot of action, and I can't wait. I wish the game would start right about now.
Well, Bay City Central coming in at 2-6 has had some close games that they want to play here and there to take back. Could be looking at a playoff team. They're a very talented team that has had a couple of unfortunate things happen, causing them to be 2-6. But Western's very well aware of who they are.
Right, and they're not going to sneak up on anybody. I think Central and Coach Freddie, has to look at their team as a whole, and they're played many great halves this year. And unfortunately, if you don't play the full game, obviously you don't come out on the winning side of it. So they were able to see a lot of positive things throughout the season. But I know outside of the Mount Pleasant game where they played the full 4 quarters, they're looking and hoping that tonight is the next one where they're going to be able to do their thing.
They've gone about halfway through the season. They went with Cade Sawinski at quarterback. He's really starting to look comfortable now, and obviously that looks ahead to what they'll have next year, along with the offensive line that beat Mount Pleasant was all junior starters as well.
Well, they've had a lot of success, freshman JV level, and I think Kate taking over does a couple of things for Central. A.J. Kaznowski was their starting quarterback at the beginning of the year, but I think he is really a spark plug that if they were able to do other things with him and allow him to do other things on the offensive side, it really helps Ben Smorman out. So by putting Sawinski back there, who is a capable runner, capable thrower, and you still got Harris, you still got McCullough, you still got all these different options. But I think getting A.J. out to a different spot and allowing him to fully use this spark plug, because there's so many times that we mentioned during the games where he's short and he sneaks into the line and all of a sudden he pops up for a 5-yard gain. And when you don't have that where the defensive eyes are always on you, it allows you other opportunities. So I look forward to seeing what exactly Sawinski can do and what Kaznowski can do moving away from that quarterback spot.
Now, we'll pull away from Jason Newsham, the color commentator, for a minute. We'll talk about Coach Jason Newsham, rivalry game. You want your kids to be up, you want them to be excited, but you also want that to be controlled and channeled. Tell me a little bit about your thought process, how you try and prepare your team for a big rival.
When you know you have a week to prepare, it does change a few things. Number one, you're excited as a coach. There's a lot of emotion into it as a coach and a coaching staff, especially when you've been in the rivalry as a player. So you've got a couple of things that you got to do. The big thing that you need to make sure is that your players aren't overly excited on Monday, where on Friday they would come out flat. So it's really trying to find a balance every day of practice to keep them motivated, to work on the things that you need to work on as a staff and as a team, but make sure that you're not putting too much emphasis on one thing over another. So now here we are on Friday, both schools, big pep rallies today, a lot of excitement. I think you were a part of the Bay City Central one. Now all of a sudden you got to take that adrenaline and bring it back down. And, I don't want to say make it melancholy, but you've got to bring it back down to a point where it's not going to affect the play at the beginning of the game, because a couple of bad plays here and there put you in a hole.
Coach Willards, on the other hand, and the Bay City Western Warriors, they're fighting for their playoff life tonight.
They are, and again, we had the pleasure of doing the All Saints game last week, and a couple weeks ago when they played Peck and lost, and we knew that every week became a must-win, a playoff game. So tonight you're getting a very up-close look at the Western Warriors in a playoff mode. So they know they have to have any chance of Week 10, they've got to take care of Week 9, which in itself is its own motivation. Take away the rivalry, the motivation aspect of having to win tonight to get a chance at Week 10 is motivation enough. And as a coach, there's so much that you want to say to the kids, but this week, you don't have to say much.
They are motivated. They're ready to go. Aiden Robinson, 947 yards coming into tonight. Just another in a long series of 1,000-yard running backs that they've produced out here in the last 8 or 10 years.
They have, and Aiden does it quickly. He does it effortlessly. He just gets the ball, and all of a sudden we watch him, and he gets to the corner, and all of a sudden he's gone for 15, 20 yards, or in some cases 75, 80. And he has that speed to do it. And, being able to get to the 1,000 yards as a junior, I think, was a goal coming in for Aiden. For him to have an opportunity to do it against his rival, against Bay City Central, kind of like a little cherry on top. But more importantly for Aiden, as a competitor that he is, getting the win is going to be number one.
X factor tonight, I believe, is Frost again.
He's always going to be an X factor for a couple of reasons. One, he is so talented and he does a lot of things, but he's also that emotional jitterbug out there. He does things for your team that can really elevate and raise everyone else around you. And when he does it in the right way, things are great. But on the other side of it, when things aren't going necessarily the correct way, or maybe misses a pass, or maybe he's open, doesn't get a pass, trying to rechannel that energy and bring it back to the huddle in a positive way so that he's able to say, hey, let's go, let's get this, next play up.
Well, I just want one more thing in our pregame show, and that's Jeff Thompson. He's been the get-back coach at Central for a couple of decades. He's a great kid. He kind of surprised some people by announcing his retirement from coaching. This is probably going to be his last game. You talk about a high-energy kid on the sidelines is one thing. You talk about a kid that the players feed off for his fun and his energy, and you've got that wrapped into one.
You mentioned X Factor 1 in Frost, and now you're mentioning X Factor number 2 in Thompson. Sometimes it's not a player that can really bring your team together. Sometimes it's that extra coach. It's somebody who brings something to the table that you can't describe. You can't define it. And, we had a couple of players like that, and we had a couple of staff members like that at All Saints. That we brought them along because they wanted to be involved. And when you have somebody that wants to be involved so passionately, it just feeds off it. And as a coach, sometimes you're not feeling it, and all of a sudden that young man comes into the locker room, comes onto the field, and everyone else feels it. You feel it back as a head coach, and all of a sudden you get rejuvenated. So there is a lot of good things that he brings to Bay City Central, a lot of things he brings to Bay City Central's team. And, it's unfortunate that anyone has to step away from the game or wants to step away from the game or choose to step away from the game. But as someone who has stepped away from the game, there's always an opportunity coming down the road. So, never say never.
Well, thank you for 2 decades of service and excitement at Bay City Central. That about puts the wraps on our pregame show. It's our Covenant Healthcare-sponsored pregame show. Back with all the game action just a moment right here on BCTV.
Over the years, he's put his heart into being your dad. He was always there to fix things. Now that he needs help, don't lose hope. Covenant Center for the Heart is leading the way in minimally invasive heart options for inoperable or high-risk patients, with the first and most comprehensive structural heart disease program in the Great Lakes Bay region. It's extraordinary heart care, close to home.
combined Bay City Public Schools bands will now perform Dua Lipa's 2020 hit Levitating under the direction of Central Senior Drum Major Ashley Young. And now, under the direction of Western Senior Drum Major Elizabeth Watts, the band presents Pink Yesterday, written by Subway performers Too Many Zoos.
Oh, and now he's holding it down.
gentlemen, at this time we ask that you all please rise and direct your attention to the American flag located in the south end zone as Central Band Director Christy Keenan directs the bands in the performance of our national anthem.
Good evening and welcome back. It's the rivalry here. We're out at the cornfield. Jeff Dote and Jason Newsham. Glad to have you along on BCTV. And Jason, again, as we said in the pregame, rivalry week says it all.
It is going to be a game to remember, and which side of these sidelines is going to come out in favor is going to be the ultimate question here.
Ball kicked to about the 23-yard line. Broken tackle and a nice return up over the 32 to about the 33-yard line. The Western Warriors sporting a little different color jersey tonight.
Cleveland Brown look out there. That was Joey DeCuff on the up man return, bringing that ball up to the 33-yard line. Yeah, I like the look. It's, the Hunter Orange, as Coach Willits would call it. They're hunting some wolves tonight.
Yes. After week one, Clark ends up starting quarterback as a junior, and he has really progressed nicely.
He has, and this is going to be a great opening line. Well, he's asking his coaches, what play are we running?
We're going to make sure we got 11 on the field first. So they're running a
Case and Frost sneaking out there. He's not going to sneak very long.
They're not running him as a wideout. He's going to try and go downfield, and a very nice job of Central floating out defensively. Pass was intended on the play.
Well, number 20, we'll call him.
Yeah. Now, is he the fifth quarter kid? Or I thought he might have been number 30.
He was 30 from previous week, yeah. Yes. But now we got number 20. Well, JV season's over, so whoever's is fortunate enough to get the call up, that would be an opportunity to get a couple extra snaps.
We'll have to look for the next call from Matt Falon on that young man. But, again, early on, large amounts of adrenaline flowing. Who channels that first, we'll find out here pretty quickly.
Yeah, Robinson going to come our way, trying to find a little room, and he does. Again, he doesn't have to find big areas or big gaps. He is just able to be patiently and makes things happen as they develop. Aiden Robinson with another nice run there to second down, bring it to third and short.
Patience, patience, and patience as Central clogged up his initial option, his second option, but he got just enough of a seal block on the outside to give him a nice gain on the play of 9 yards. It'll bring up a third down in a short one situation just underway out here at the cornfield. Western with their first possession of this football game.
Well, you got to be patient when you got a big man like Luke Zanotti waiting for you at the end. There's a little counter right there. Back to Ogosh coming on the inside is number 5, Benny Facundo. The great tackle. First down yardage right there for the Warriors.
Benny Facundo this week just gets himself into the National Honor Society to
a little NHS.
Add that to his repertoire. So just another one of those great, stellar young men that work hard, and that's a great feather in your cap for the NHS.
Well, academics. We talk about it as a coaching staff, and NHS is as good as you can get at the high school level.
It's first down, counter action coming to the outside. As out to about the 45-yard line, very close to that first down marker. Is that Robinson?
Yeah, no, that was Ogosh on the counter.
Ogosh.
Well, no, actually, that's going to be back to our buddy number 20.
I thought you heard the name.
We're going to have to turn our
Send a
ears
scout
up.
upstairs during our first break.
Well, Facundo had another nice tackle on that one. It was number 6, Jackson Clark, as you mentioned, the junior quarterback. A lot of juniors on this team, Western. This is a team that's good this year, and they're only going to get better.
Second down and a short one. Clark back to pass. Now he's going to turn the corner. Looks like he didn't have great intent to pass, and he gets back to the line of scrimmage, and he's met by a half a dozen purple and gold uniforms as they come flying up to the football. It'll be third down and 1 yard to go.
Luke Zanotti got himself in there, and it looked like Sonny Liston there as he's trying to punch the ball out. And that's a guy who can punch the ball out if he really wants to.
That is one large individual. When I see Luke, the things I see in him is his first job is to contain on the outside, and they're going to run that quarterback sneak.
There's your favorite
up the middle.
Non-play, not non-call. They kind of got to get set there, but
and I know that Coach Willard saw another team utilize that, and that would be Midland down with Bacus. So they come flying up to the line of scrimmage, and it's a great play when it works, but I still think that you got to be set for that one count before you move forward.
You're an official. You know that you got to be set.
It's obviously subject to interpretation out there. I don't agree with it, but it's 1st and 10 as Western's got a nice opening drive going.
That'll be Robinson trying to find a little hole right there, squirts around.
As again, Robinson doesn't look like there's much there. He gets just enough of a surge from his offensive line that he's going to pick up 4 yards on the play and puts Western in a second down and a long 5.
Yeah, it's, again, great patience by what you're seeing. What he's seeing out there is just that small hole, that little bit of a hole that allows him to, plant the foot and go north, or in this case, go south.
As they are heading south here in the first quarter, indeed, Central with the white jerseys and the golden helmets. Clark back to pass. He's trying to throw that down, and just about L.J. McCullough had pick 6 on his mind. He had visions of sugar plums dancing in his head, and he wants that one back.
He's still dancing there in the backfield, the secondary. It's interesting to watch that play develop, and you saw him make a break on that ball quicker than Clark was hoping he would. And LG doesn't take much to get his wheels moving.
What I look for that from, he's playing the center field position out there. He sends a message that I can cover a whole lot of ground when that ball's in the air. He anticipated 3rd down and 5 now. Clark back again. They're going to try and set up a screen to the outside. Facundo out there again as Robinson is going to be close to that first down marker. I believe he's going to be just a tad bit shy, and it's going to be 4th down and 1 yard to go.
Well, it's 4th down, and we're going for it, so let's just figure out the quickest way. Are they going to look maybe for that quick quarterback sneak? They're getting up to the line pretty quick. And
as they run up again, he bangs out, and he is not going to make it. I do not believe.
It depends on that forward progress, and the referee on this side, the side judge. Now, hold on. Is it the side judge on the home side or the
head linesman is on the chain side, the line judge on this side.
All right, so line judge came in real quick and said, no, sir. No, sir. This isn't a red flag, challenge flag situation.
It was a situation, though, where they tried to go off of the right tackle, and Central's defense neutralized the line of scrimmage. And then one of the linebackers came up and made a great finish, and I believe that was Harris that grabbed onto him and threw him backwards. So Central takes over on downs. 1st and 10 for the Wolves.
7 minutes, 39 seconds left here in quarter number 1. Sawinski hands it off.
Harris trying to get to the outside as he picks up about 3 on 1st down, met by a whole bunch of orange-jerseyed Western Warriors. As Harris is really, as the year progressed, I think he is finally developed into a running back. He was always a speed merchant. He's now finishing his play. He's fallen forward, and he still has the burst.
Well, I think with that particular play, a little bit what Robinson has, he was trying to be patient, and a 3-yard gain surely beats when you're trying to use your speed to get the outside and losing 2 or 3 yards. So big difference from what we saw in week 2.
2nd down and 7 yards to go. Cade Sawinski in the short shotgun. Quick pass on the outside. A little too much adrenaline there as they tried to go outside to Harris. And the defense from Western had that one pretty well diagnosed anyway.
They did, and and we talked about it in the pregame. The adrenaline in Western's offense, was kind of getting themselves in the flow. The Central defense on the other side held their ground, and now the Central offense, their first time on the field. He was open. You could have got to him. He might have been able to swing it for 3-4 yards, but again, you throw it, it's over his head. It doesn't get intercepted. It goes out of bounds, and now you're 3rd and 7, and you're playing another down.
From your own 37-yard line, 3rd down again and 7 yards to go. 6:54 left in the first. Cade Sawinski out of the shotgun is going to take it forward, and he bangs forward, and he is going to be very close to that first down marker, and they're going to say he's got it. He has got that ability. And I know where he got that ability from. He watched enough tapes of Muhammad High School.
Athletic as she was.
Boy, both parents athletic. But, man, Jason was one of those guys that could put his head down and he could finish. And Cade just did that enough to move the sticks. It'll be 1st and 10 on the 45-yard line for the Central Wolves.
And I love when his dad posts pictures of them wearing their number 45 and, Jason back in the day and Cade now. And, Cade is filling out into a baby Jason.
He is a chip off the old block.
That can throw the ball.
Yes. Again, Sawinski banging forward, breaks a couple of tackles. He's at the 40, the 35, the 30, the 25, the 20. A great cutback block into the end zone. It's a Bay City Central Wolf touchdown.
We just talked about getting your head down, keeping them legs running. And I tell you what, I wasn't sure if McCullough was going to block the right person, and the guy closest to him, he said, I better turn around. He may have a chance.
Yeah, he had somebody coming up from behind, and it wasn't much of a block. He didn't have to block him. He just needed to get in his way.
And the best part, you didn't have to worry about hitting him in the back.
Yeah, you saw the front of the jersey. What a great run for Sawinski.
Great start for the Wolves.
45 yards and Central up 6-0 with a Ziggy extra point attempt. Kick is up. Oh, it's plenty long, and it's good. Xavier Wilson with the extra point. Time out of the field with 6:02 left in the first. Bay City Central strikes first with 7, and the Western Warriors nothing. Back in a moment on BCTV.
Village Towing and Auto Repair of Kaukaulin and Bay City is here to help you in your hour of need with fast and friendly service. With over 30 years of towing experience, we know how to get the job done quickly and safely. From big to small, we do it all. Give us a call at 989-684-9607 for all your towing needs.
Back here at BCTV, Jeff Doan, Jason Newsham, glad to have you along. And Nick Page producing, directing, and filming. We're looking at the Wolfman down there. Jeff Thompson he's after a couple of decades going to call it history. And boy, if he gets to lead the breakdown at the end of this game after a victory, it's worth seeing.
Ooh, it's going to be emotional is what it's going to be. Not worth seeing, emotional. It's going to be a lot of tears being shed in that situation. It'll be great to see for the Central Wolf fans.
And the golden tablet is going to be down on the field of the winning side. So I think if that happens, there's an opportunity for MLive to give you some great footage as Zig Wilson is ready to kick off, and there's going to be another pooch going to be at the 34-yard line, trying to come across field, trying to pick up some blocking, picking up about 13 on the return, brought down by Mason Pank, number 42 for Bay City Central.
Lucas Julian on the return. Number 7 wearing the brown numbers outside the black numbers outside the orange jerseys.
They stand out pretty well.
They do. I tell you what, I have 0 complaints so far about being able to see these numbers. We don't have to wait 3 plays to tell you what we're seeing out there.
First down for the Western Warriors, just a couple of yards shy of midfield as they get excellent starting field position. Clark back. They're going to try and pass again. There isn't a whole lot there. Central comes trying to get away.
Well,
and after the first 3 or 4, Zanotti was the second one in there. Didn't see who was number 1. The finish off was by number 21, Dalton DeRocher. He finally came. How about Clark? He slipped away from about 3 before the rest of the Wolves came flying.
I think, that's one of those situations. I think Brett Favre-esque, he was trying to make something happen after making the first 2 guys miss, and By the time he looked up, it was a wall of white coming at him.
Well, and that's a huge loss on the play of 10 yards, second down and 20. And boy, Central's had the Western pass game figured out here, at least early on.
Well, it's nice when you're able to get that initial pressure and not let Clark get his feet set. We've seen Clark early in the year when his feet are set. He's a very pinpoint precision type passer. But when you're making him dance a little bit back there, things change a little bit as he's going to keep it this time. And
trying to dance in and out, but again, Bay City Central, they're in mass. A.J. Kazanowski with the first hit coming up from his defensive back position and making a nice tackle. There's a 5-yard gain on the play, but it's going to be third down and 15 yards to go for the Western Warriors.
Good move as far as Clark getting some yards there. But the one thing you got to be careful, you're in an adrenaline-filled game. You're in the rivalry game. We've talked about all that. You've got to watch out for the penalties. The penalties can come up and sneak on you when you want to make that extra hit. You want to make that extra tackle. You want to make your presence felt. So I think it's going to be important that when Central hears that whistle, the first whistle, that they realize that we need to let go.
Coming on a lead play again, banging forward. It looks like Ben Sporman's going to be there to finish that after just about a 4-yard gain on the play. Wait, trying to hear again.
Yeah, I was trying to hear myself.
Didn't realize it was 20 until it was too late and could not hear the name. But again, they get back to the original line of scrimmage where it's going to be fourth down and 10 yards to go. So the Western Warriors on their second offensive possession of the game with 3:45 and counting left in the first quarter. They're going to be punting the ball back over to Bay City Central.
We don't see Western. We've called 2 of their games this year. I don't know that we've seen many punts.
They have not had to, as that's a low line drive, and it's going to take a big Central hop. Looks like Kazanowski's going to pick it up. He's going to get to the outside. He's to the boat midfield and squirts forward down to the 48-yard line. We might get a face mask at the end of that based on the timing and location of the flag.
I was looking at more how high Coach Frederick jumped on that one. That could have been.
We're going to find out in a second, but all indications are a face mask. But again, Kazanowski, that baseball infielder, he says that's a high hop. He scoops it up just underneath the shins there, and personal foul. Face mask it is. It's going to add 15 to the end of the run, and it's going to put Central in a short field situation here on their second offensive possession.
Well, 15 from the spot of the foul, so it's going to put him down to right around a 33-ish.
Yep.
As long as his legs are 1 yard at a time. Oh, he's going to leave him short, 34.
Yeah, he's going to give it 14. 14 and a skosh, as Brother Guizdala would say.
Absolutely.
First and 10, Bay City Central. 3:20 left here in the first quarter. Central coming up to the line of scrimmage right now, already with a 7-0 lead. Twins to the wide side of the field.
Sporman in motion.
Sporman's going to get the ball.
That play looks familiar, doesn't it?
And once he levels those shoulders up and goes forward, you will not push him backwards.
No, and we did find out that number 20 is actually number 27, Braylon Ogosh. So we were right calling him Ogosh because that's been his spot all game. Maybe the orange jerseys don't come in 27.
Well, that could have been. It could have been one of those late season cognito changes that he had going on. Pickup of almost 7 yards on the play. Second down and a long 3 for Bay City Central. When you can get 6+ on first down, that really makes your offensive coordinator smile.
Yeah, your playbook opens up a little bit more. You can see Sawinski put the ball in the air.
McCullough's open deep. The ball's just underthrown, and it's going to be in and out of his hands. Another one that LJ is going to want back.
He made the right adjustment. It was underthrown. It looked like Frost on the defense there for the Warriors, and Frost kept going. LJ cut it off, and just at the last second wasn't able to snag that one in. But again, it was a great second down and 4 call. You're able to do a little bit more when you're looking at 3rd and 4 versus 3rd and 8. 3rd and 10, 3rd and 9, 3rd and long.
It was almost like a rendition of the back shoulder just by coming in a little bit short. He was able to come back for it, but maybe Frost got a hand in it. Here comes the pressure as Sawinski's going to bang forward. He looks like from this angle he's going to be able to pick up the first down as he moves the pile forward. Another 1st and 10 for the Bay City Central Wolves.
Yeah, when his dad was a running back in Central back in the mid-'90s, he was more of that fullback style. I see more grace out of what Cade's able to bring to the table here. He's able to make a little bit more shifty moves and kind of be more patient. You're a fullback, you get the ball, you run, but you're Corey Schlesinger, you just try and run people over. Kate back there looks to be a really patient runner as the quarterback. And again, when you're that dual threat, man, does that open up your options as a passer.
And, he's still growing into this position, and it's not like he didn't play quarterback before the season started, but he has really done a great job since stepping in. 1st and 10, Bay City Central, late in the first quarter. Sawinski right up the middle again. Looks like he might have tripped a little bit as he falls forward. He's going to pick up a couple of yards on the play. Whole lot of Western Warriors coming up out of that pile as well. As I am looking, it looks like amongst others, is it Jack? It looks like Clark that might have been. Those numbers for Western are not real big when they get back on the far corner of the field there, brother.
Well, no jerseys at our age and with our eyesight right now. We need them right here at the midline.
Your peeps are better than mine. 2nd down and 8. Motion again as they're going to go with the jet sweep. Kazanowski on the outside. He gets the first down and more. Turns the corner. And you talked about that earlier, Jason. Just because he's not quarterbacking doesn't mean that he's not still an integral part of your offense. And when you run him on those plays, he's still always got the threat of a pass as well.
He does. And the one thing we talked about, too, was Central has athletes. Their record is not an indication of what this team. They have played many great halves. They've played many great quarters. Coach Frederick wants to play 4 tonight, specifically, against a rival. And when you have Kazanowski, that like I said, he just opens up so many more things with him on that jet sweep. And now you got Harris, you still got McCulley, you still got Facundo. Options galore.
On the outside, here's Harris as he sidesteps the first. He's inside the 5-yard line, down to about the 3 for a gain of almost 7 yards on the play. And he just danced and made the first person miss, kind of turned sideways, got small through the hole, and then planted his foot and pushed forward.
A little chubby checker, a little twist going on down there. A little twist, a little hula.
So he's down to about the 3-yard line with a buck and a half left in our first quarter of play.
No, it's a great first quarter. And, the 2 times that we have seen Western play out here, the games were pretty lopsided in their favor. So this is one of the first times we've been able to see their defense have to show their teeth a little bit. It's a big stop opportunity for Coach Willard's squad.
2nd and goal. This is going to be a Central timeout. I don't know what Coach Frederick saw, but it's a big play in the game. We'll take a quick break and be back in a moment on BCTV.
For over 75 years, Frank's Great Outdoors has served as the Great Lakes Bay region's premier hunting, fishing, and outdoor shopping destination. What started in the mid-1940s as a roadside bait and tackle stand has now blossomed into a 30,000 square foot outdoorsman's dream shopping location. Stop by the store located at 1212 North Huron Road in Linwood, or shop online at franksgreatoutdoors.com to find everything you need to get your next outdoor adventure started.
Back here on BCTV, Bay City Central, 2nd and goal from just outside the 3-yard line. 1:07 left in our first quarter of play. Sawinski out of the short shotgun. And they're going to give that to Harris. Harris goes around the corner. He sneaks into the end zone. It's a Bay City Central Wolf touchdown. And a flag at the end of the play.
Well, we both talked about that timeout and how it may have been, a little early in the game, but we also both agreed that possession right there, that play right there, was very important to what's going to happen the rest of this game for the Wolves. And to be able to get a score from that spot right there was a big score for the team.
I want to wait and see the indication. The penalty flag came from looks like the head linesman right around the goal line. So my guess is post-touchdown, it's going to be, touchdown is good. Personal foul against the defense that will be assessed on the kickoff. So Central's going to be kicking off to Western on the 45-yard line of Western. So
that gives you some options, doesn't it?
That is amazing. Wilson to attempt the extra point. It's up. It's plenty long. And it's good. Time out of the field with 1:01 left in the first. Central strikes for 14 first quarter points. And the Western Warriors nothing. Back in a moment to see what the Warriors can do about that on BCTV.
Thinking about high quality education with highly qualified teachers and a wide variety of quality programs? Look no further than Bay City Public Schools.
There's wonderful teachers, wonderful educators, administrators. It's a great place to go to school.
We include everybody and we have a very diverse student base.
At Bay City Public Schools, the teachers are truly there to see the students succeed.
Bay City Public Schools, exceptional opportunities for all. Call us to enroll today, 989-686-9700.
Back here on BCTV as that 15-yard penalty is assessed. Oh, you know who loves that more than anybody, Coach? The back judge. One of the few times he gets to signal what's going on and mark it off. He is living large right now.
The white hat's nowhere to be found. He's tucked behind the goalpost down there in the end zone.
Sitting way back. And like to send a special birthday wish out to Stacy Gorney. She
can't get a number.
Correct.
Can't get a number.
We tried for a number, but we want to make sure that she knows that it's happy birthday, Stacy.
Bay County TV Sports Department here.
Wilson's going to kick that one deep, and he's going to kick that right into the end zone and totally eliminate the opportunity for a kickback. I was trying to see, I was kind of thinking what he was going to try and do is try and kick that thing real high and get it down around the 10-yard line and see what could happen, but you take all the guessing work right out of this by blasting it through the end zone.
Well, you do, and Coach Frederick probably had a little bit of consulting with the staff on how do you want to handle this, and the reality of it is defense right now is playing as well as they have played in 9 games this year, so why not try to let them get back on the field and do what they've been doing.
Trying to curl around the corner on the outside, and there is not much there as the Central defense stands up and stuffs that play. It looked like Marciniak might have been the first one there for Bay City Central.
Well, they're doing a great job right now of maintaining discipline on each of the defensive ends. They're not overcommitting. They're not following the quarterback fakes. They're making sure that they are dialed in on the guy coming into their area, and they're tackling him.
Well, they're finishing. That's exactly right. They've got the opportunity, and they are finishing. As the Western Warriors are going to probably have to run one more play here as Clark comes in from the sidelines. 20 seconds and counting left in our first quarter of play.
Who's my man number 8 here on the end?
Harris.
Harris, okay.
Clark with the keeper. He's going to gain about 5 yards moving forward before he's brought down by the Bay City Central Wolves. And amongst others, that will be L.J. McCullough, and that will take us to the end of the first quarter with our score. The Bay City Central Wolves 14, the Western Warriors nothing. Back in a moment for the second quarter on BCTV.
Inside, outside, or even in your home, there are lots of ways to enjoy amazing food from Bay City Bills. Our dining room is ready for you, and we are ready for you with takeout too. Stop in to Bay City Bills at 1215 Michigan Avenue or find us on Facebook or at www.baycitybills.com to see our full menu.
Back here on Bay County TV, Jeff Doan, Jason Newsham. Glad to have you along. And we've got Nick Page producing, directing, and filming tonight. I'd like to thank our sponsors, Covenant Healthcare, Collier Chiropractic, Bay City Bills, Village Towing, Frank's Great Outdoors, the Bay City Public Schools, and the All Saints Booster Club. All people that are helping make this great year of football happen. As next Monday, Jason, we're going to be looking forward to putting together a little hoop schedule for the winter. That's also another favorite time of the year, isn't it?
Most wonderful time of the year.
3rd down and 2 yards to go. Trying to bring that ball up the middle, very close to the first down marker. It is going to be, they're going to have him right on the 30, so I believe that is going to be just enough for a first down for the Western Warriors.
I tell you, that was a very tough run right there, hard run, just to get those 3 yards. And
looked like Clark was the quarterback keeper on that.
Yeah, I just, that Central defense right now is standing stout. And again, they're tackling. They're hitting, and they're waiting for the rest of the white shirts to get there. But again, just got it right to the 30-yard line, which is a 1st and 10 for the Warriors.
Well, the front four for Bay City Central has just been outstanding at the start. trying to come to the near side of the field. Central trying to pinch back. Again, falling forward with a nice run on the play. Looked like it might have been Robinson.
Yeah, Robinson that time again. The tough thing about when you've got so many white jerseys in the box, your gaps and your lanes, all of a sudden they're not developing as quickly as maybe they would if they could get a little spread action going. So look for an adjustment being made here by Coach Willert and his staff to take this close-knit group right here and kind of spread them out a little bit, maybe get Frost on the outside a little bit just to get that defense to a little bit more, trying to get them going one way.
Now McCullough comes out again,
but look at the jerseys.
They absolutely are swarming to the football, but both McCullough and Kazanowski are both peeking into the backfield, and they are playing run first.
Well, I mean, right now what they've been able to do is when you have somebody like McCullough, number 7 back there in that defensive safety position, that's a pretty fast, pretty quick player back there to react to those passes. So, you basically are playing 10 guys up and making sure that those white jerseys are following that brown pigskin, and they're hitting.
So they have got coming in from the sideline again. Jackson Clark gets the word, and he is all set as they ran a little motion to the wide side of the field, little seam, and banging forward out to about the 45-yard line. The Western Warriors move the sticks.
Yeah, Robinson again finally gets a little bit of room there. And, earlier in the year when he was popping out 60, 70-yard runs and he was averaging 9.7 yards. Right now, that he's getting 6 or 7, it's really impressive for this Warrior offense. So just kind of goes to show. But, again, you're going to have to see some adjustments being made somewhere along this Western offensive front. They're going to have to try to get this Central defense where they're not able to put those 10 guys up.
Ben Sporman with the tackle. Counter action again, kind of blowing a tire, but still able to get 8 yards out of the play as Bay City Central. Kazanowski with the initial hit. Sporman comes up over the top to finish, but 8-yard run that play on first down.
And Eli Malin looked like number 31 getting his first opportunity, first crack at the run, and brings up a second down and about 2. This is an important drive for Western. We don't want to overemphasize that how important one drive is over another, but down 14-0 with your third offensive possession. This is kind of a breaker right here.
Trying to come again, a great sidestep and a great run, as that is going to be number 17 on the run, and Robinson again making the first person from Central miss, and up to move the sticks. Another 1st and 10 for the Western Warriors.
Yeah, Robinson meeting Sporman meet Robinson. I'm sure that'll be a theme for the remainder of the game if they're going to continue to stick with this running game.
Yep, and a great MLive article too with Forrester and Kazanowski both working at ATS out there as best of friends all week long until they snap up the chin straps. And there is the ball carrier once again on the field, and that is Aiden Robinson. And Aiden just again shows his patience, and he's able to pick up almost 4 on first down.
We saw the first drive of the game for the Warriors ended on a 4th down and 1 where they weren't able to convert. This is another nice drive right there right now going on for the Warriors, where they're getting a nice mix of Robinson. They're able to get a couple other guys involved. Now Clark is going to keep this one himself.
Clark finds a little seam. He makes a couple of people miss. L.J. McCullough finally able to bring him down at about the 18-yard line. Looks like the Warrior offense is starting to fire in sequence.
Well, the funny thing about it is we mentioned McCullough as being great. When he's making your tackles, though, for Coach Frederick's Wolf team, that's not a good sign when the quarterback's able to get it to the way secondary of the Central defense.
He's the last line of defense back there 15 yards off the ball.
He's the touchdown-saving line of defense.
Well, Central went strong right defensively, and Western ran away from it that time. Part of the reason for their success, Clark trying to come forward, and looks like Harris comes from the backside and snuffs that play. Mr. Sporman was in the neighborhood just to make sure he didn't go anywhere either.
Sporman slowed him up just enough for Harris to really get that full speed of energy that he came off the far end to finish the tackle. So that's a nice assist right there by Sporman by letting Harris finish it.
Well, in Jamario being a sophomore, he is a high-class sprinter. So a lot of people underestimate his closing speed coming from the wide side of the field.
He's got closing speed. He's got initial speed as he's going to come this side this time to see.
And he can finish.
Well, and what they're doing is they're keeping him opposite of Zanotti at this time. And what they've been doing is, so they're looking at the Western offense, and then Zanotti will pick one side, and Harris will go to the other side. And a little timeout on the play, and we are going to take one as well. It is 14-0, 7 minutes left here in the second quarter. You're listening to Bay County TV.
Is your pain holding you back from things you enjoy, like playing with your grandchildren or participating in a sport? At Collier Chiropractic, we specialize in neck pain, back pain, headaches, or sciatica that won't go away. If you've tried chiropractic, you've tried physical therapy, you've gone to your medical doctor with no results, or you take medication and it doesn't even touch your pain, then put this number in your phone, give us a call, see how we're different at Collier Chiropractic Bay City.
Back here on BCTV as we are nearing the halfway point of our second quarter of play. Bay City Central defense comes back out on the field, and I think Bay City Central that time had a great opportunity to try and chess match, and they had the play designed and figured out. Quick pass on the outside, wide open receiver out there with a great gain forward, and that's exactly what you want to do out of that, is something you haven't shown all game long, and it's a huge gain.
Yeah, a lot of good things were on that play, but the important thing was Clark was able to get those guys in the white jerseys on the Central defense to come at him a little bit more before he was able to toss the ball out there. And that situation takes it down to first down and goal from the 6-yard line.
So Western trying to finish what they started on this drive in the second quarter. Banging forward down about the 5, maybe the 4-yard line as they kept moving the pile. Might have got a little closer than that, maybe down near the 2.
Lucas Julian, the bulldozer of the running back. You know, they got a lot of different running backs. Joey DeCuff, Julian Robinson, Olgosh from the counter spot. You know, they put a lot of guys back there, and we always like watching Julian run the ball.
Well, this is your horse, no question. As he bangs forward, he gets hit, he comes to the side, he's into the end zone. It's a Western Warrior touchdown.
Well, we just talked about him, and right on cue, he bounces off 1, bounces off 2, and all of a sudden he goes in the untouched to the end zone. So
yeah, that's a tough break for Central defensively. They had that play stuffed at the point of attack. You got to give Julian credit. He was able to bounce to the outside and virtually untouched as he walks into the end zone.
Well, a couple weeks ago, he was looking at playing his last game before having some surgery, and he was able to hold it off a little bit so he could finish the season, and hoping that would involve a Week 10. So that was a big important run right there for the
Eli Malin. Plenty of foot.
Oh yeah,
it's up and it's good. Again, time out of the field with 6:08 left in our first half. Central 14, Western 7. It's turning into a great one. Back in a moment on BCTV.
Sports give so many opportunities to kids. It gives them an opportunity to see where they fit within a team, persevere, understanding how to work with different personalities. Those are the lessons that will make you a successful adult. As a mom, you have to have an understanding of what concussions are.
Concussions are things that are treatable. If we take care of athletes, they will be able to develop and have a long, happy, healthy life.
Back on Bay County TV, Central with the first 14 points of the game. Western in the second quarter at the midway point gets an answer, and we got ourselves a great one here, Jason.
Well, it's going to tip it back and forth a little bit. This is going to be a punch-counter-punch situation. This will be the first time the Warriors are actually kicking off, as well as they've been the recipient of the kickoff to start the game and the 2 scores from Central. So let's see what Malin's going to do as his kickoff opportunity and options. 3 guys back for the Wolves.
Yeah, they want to make sure that with that setup that they've got all 3 flanks set. Here goes the whistle from the white hat. There'll be a high, deep end over end kick, and that is going to sail into the end zone. McCullough said we're all going to have our feet on the 10. If it goes over our shoulder, it's probably going to roll into the end zone, and it did. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Central Wolves at their own 20-yard line here, again at the midway point of our second quarter of play. Oh, this is going to be fun.
Well, it hasn't disappointed us yet. You know, we were kind of thinking it was going to be a close nip and tuck type of game, and here we are at the halfway through the second quarter, 14-7.
It's as advertised, and that's exactly what we're looking for. 1st and 10 for the Bay City Central Wolves. Kazanowski on a little jet sweep gets to the outside, not able to turn the corner. The Western defense very well situated to stop that play.
You said he got to the outside, and the Warrior defender goes, not so quick, Mr. Doan.
You got to the outside, you just did not turn the corner. And the leading tackler on that looked like Tate Dutcher. So virtually no gain on the play. 2nd down and 10 for Bay City Central.
Well, be interesting to see coming out, up 14-7. Again, when you're not in this situation a lot as a team, there's always a lot of questions. What are you going to do? How are you going to handle it? Are you able to play with a lead? That's a big question when you're even the Mount Pleasant game. They never led until a minute left in that game. So they're not playing a lot of season this year, specifically with Sawinski at quarterback with the lead.
Again, motion to the near side. And that pass to the outside is nearly intercepted. Again, jumping that route as it was intended for Harris. Great defense. It looked like Frost had an opportunity for that.
Yeah, Resmer had an opportunity. I thought a couple of guys had an opportunity. I wasn't quite sure. I thought that the better option was McCullough making it floating over the middle. I thought he had more green grass in front of him. But, again, young quarterback, you kind of dial it into one guy. You don't get a chance to survey the field. And lucky for that one, it's 3rd and 10 versus 1st and 10 for the Warriors.
They live to play another down as that ball fell harmlessly to the ground. 3rd down and 10 for Bay City Central.
This is where Sawinski has ran the ball himself the last couple of times. This time he gives it off to Harris, and this Warrior defense finally, he pitches the ball. The referee blows it dead, but didn't see the pitch back to the quarterback.
Now, forward progress was stopped, and in a rivalry game like this, you really don't want to wait too long to blow that whistle because bad things happen too late.
The bad things can happen when you try and pitch the ball out of a pile, too. So he was fortunate that Sawinski was able to even put the ball in and get the ball in his hands. But, well, great stop by the Warrior defense, and that's exactly what they needed as Frost will go back and be the recipient of this punt. First time punting for the Wolves tonight.
Exchange is always important. This is a good exchange. There is going to be a low line drive kick that's going to take a Bay City Central bounce and be stopped at the 47-yard line.
Great field position, though.
27-yard kick is what Central gets out of that exchange. And a great starting field position for the Western Warriors as they start on the Central side of midfield.
Well, I think it's going to be important here to see if they can do something quick in this 4 minutes, 25 seconds here in the second quarter. We've seen it this year. Robinson can score. Ogosh is taking the ball to the house with a little bit of time off the clock, and we know that Clark can run a little bit as there's a stoppage of play.
And Bay City Central was short a defensive lineman, I believe. They were going with a different front. I thought, I'm trying to count the people in the back, but I think they're missing a defensive end. And so they had to call a timeout, did not want to play 11 against 10. That's not a fair odd. Back in a moment on BCTV.
At Covenant Healthcare, we lead with the most advanced technology. We lead with the most experienced, comprehensive medical and surgical teams. We lead with partnerships to teach our future doctors and with organizations who help us bring world-renowned care close to home. We lead because our patients are at the center of everything we do. Covenant Healthcare, extraordinary care for every generation.
Back on Bay County TV as we look down at the cheerleaders as they are full of excitement and enthusiasm. Both sets of cheerleaders helped lead the pep rallies today. Clark trying to go up the middle, and he is stoned at the line of scrimmage by Dalton DeRocher, number 21, and also in on that play, number 77, Sirianni.
Yeah, we haven't called his name much as Zanotti will replace Sirianni. DeRocher, he's a sneaky guy. He gets in there, and he always right around the ball. Doesn't always get credited with the tackles, but he certainly has a nose for it.
Well, and he's really starting to fill into his frame a little bit too. He's always been long and lanky, but he's starting to put some beef on that, and he's starting to read very well, playing on that inside backer position. And there's Robinson again. as he's going to bang forward for just a couple of yards on the play. As Bay City Central defense again rising to the occasion. Looks like Harris coming up out of the bottom of the stack. Maybe got a little gimpy there.
Got a little bit there, and Robinson really had a nice step back there. That was a counter play right there where he was, looking like it was going to go right. He stepped in and they turned it back, and Harris didn't fall for it. And Harris has got the speed to stay up with him, and they got to have good speed when you're messing with Aiden Robinson.
You got to love it too. That left ankle's bothering him, so he just bangs it hard into the turf, trying to get some feeling back into it and trying to keep the juices flowing.
There you go. You see Zanotti going left, and you're going to see Harris coming our way.
Zanotti again. His first move is going to be to shut down as Robinson comes down the sideline, tiptoeing down the sideline, and he's going to have the first down. He stepped out of bounds at about the 33-yard line, but loved watching. I kind of watched Zanotti on that last play. His first two steps are up the field to react. He does not want to lose contain, and then he just took the offensive lineman and just shucked him away. He goes, I'm still looking for guys that got the pigskin in their hand, but a nice run by Robinson down the sideline, tiptoeing down to the 34-yard line to move the sticks for a first down.
Well, Robinson had to avoid Harris there, too. Harris had a great situation as DeRocher comes in.
Clark coming to the near side of the field. He's trying to run away from people, and he cuts back across the grade, picks up another block. He's at the 20, the 15, the 10, trying to get down inside. He's going to be downed at about the 9-yard line, and they're still not blowing the whistle, and he's going to end up with about 700 or 800 pounds of Bay City Central on top of him. But there was about 4 or 5 Wolves that wish they had another option. They had a great look, but Clark, he was slippery, and he probably ran about 100 yards to get that 30.
He made a lot of great plays.
And they're not moving the sticks yet. Did we have a flag? We got a player down. Trying to see who is down as the water comes out, but didn't see anybody from the coaching staff at Western come over. All right, so we got the word from Nick. It's L.J. McCullough down for Bay City Central. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back in just a moment on BCTV.
In life, things aren't scripted.
If you're an athlete, we need people like you and translate those skills to officiating.
You can get a lot out of it.
It happens in every town, in every game.
We never have a perfect game, but the rewards always outweigh the negativities.
Back here on Bay County TV as L.J. McCullough gingerly walks under his own power to the sidelines, and boy, he's a tough one to have to replace for Bay City Central.
He is, but I tell you what, let's go back to that play that Clark just made. There was lots of positive, lots of good, lots of great things that he did to keep that play alive. As they're going to give it back to Julian, the bouncing.
Julian bangs forward for a modest gain of maybe 2 on the play.
I think it's important to say right now, we have played a very clean rivalry football game. We have seen 1 yellow flag so far, no unsportsmanlikes. We saw the personal foul after the touchdown. But in a game like this, turnovers and penalties are key, and right now both teams are sitting at 0 by giving the ball away.
And they're playing for the fireman's trumpet. Trying to come to the near side of the field. Central looks like they've got that one stopped as well as Sporman comes out and just slams the door on that play as Julian cannot get out there.
Kaznowski started it, read the play perfectly. You talked about Kaznowski in the timeout break about how important he is in this situation, especially with LJ and his speed out. And then you got Kaznowski's speed, you've got Sporman's speed, and makes it very tough for Julian to get anywhere.
Looks like Caden Langley is the new LJ out there on the field.
LJ, KL.
Third down is trying to come, and he's way banged up at this. Harris comes in on the 24-yard line, and Clark slipped, and he went back, thought he had time to turn and pass that ball, and Mr. Harris came with a how do you do?
Jamario coming clean on that, and by the time that Clark was able to pick the ball up, it was a opportunity in a lifetime right there for him, as we're going to have a field goal opportunity, about a 40-yarder, a little 41-yarder.
Well, this is definitely something that is within Malin's range, and they were hoping to try and find the end zone. We'll find out what Malin can do here as we're down to 40 seconds left in the half.
Yeah, Kaznowski's actually going to go back in case it ends up a little short. Not a lot of wind up here going in that direction, so it'll be interesting.
They're using most of the clock. They're going to take a timeout right now. They wanted to chew up as much of the clock as they could, down to 32 seconds. They're going to take a timeout right now, but I think if you're Western, you feel very confident and comfortable allowing Malin to attempt a 41-yarder.
I do, and you're looking at 30 seconds by the time he kicks it, by the time it goes through the uprights, even on a miss, or maybe 23, 24, certainly makes it a challenge to get 70 yards and where it would be a spot, which would be at the 30-yard line for Central. So it makes it very tough to go 70 yards. So I think you're playing your odds. You realize that you haven't played your best football this half. You're down by a touchdown. Make the field goal, you're down by 4 points, and that's one of the benefits of having a field goal kicker that can send it through. We saw him last year in the playoff game when he came out of nowhere.
Well,
literally.
Yes, what you've got for Bay City Central is, with this field goal attempt, almost, unless it's a fake for a touchdown, guaranteeing that they're going to go into the half with the lead, knowing that they get the first possession of the second half.
Right, and I think that's offensive adjustments are going to be made there for the Wolves by Coach Frederick and his staff coming out in the second.
Malin lines up for a 41-yarder. It's a high snap. His timing's off. Is that going to make it far enough? It does, and it is good. Time out of the field with 28.3 seconds left in the first half. It's 14-10, Central on top over Western. Back in a moment on BCTV.
So your car is getting towed and you're not sure where to take it? Try Village Towing and Auto Repair. Our expert mechanics are here to help assist you with all your repair needs. We have over 30 years of experience with motor vehicles, so you know you're getting the best work that you can find. Stop by the shop at 2377 South Huron Road in Coquitlam, or give us a call at 989-684-9607.
Back here on BCTV, as we've got 28.3 ticks left in our first half of play, is Malin with that high snap. Great job. I believe Clark was holding for him, was able to get that down because Malin had already started that big leg swing before that ball hit the ground and was able to connect and have trickle through the uprights for an important three.
Well, as Bill Belichick talks about, all three phases are important in the game, and that special teams is no different.
High, deep, and end over end. It's going to be taken on the 2-yard line by Bay City Central. Full head of steam trying to bang forward up to about the 36-yard line on the return. And it was L.J. McCullough back out there as he must have been running into a little of that Bobby Boucher water on the bench, and he's been rejuvenated.
Well, 65 yards away from pay dirt. Let's see what Central does. They're going to conservatively play it, or maybe take a chance. It's always, if you get yourself 15 yards on the first play, put you up near midfield, it kind of gives you some options.
I used to think I was great at prognosticating these stuff. I learned years ago to not even attempt to outthink the brain trusts from Central and Western on these plays. Kaczynowski, nope, they're going to keep that ball right up the middle without even worrying about a handoff, and Central looks like they're going to take the 14-10 lead into the half. A very quickly, very efficiently, very cleanly fought, hard game in the first half, and Central has no hurry to try and make this next snap go. At the end of our first half of play, it's 14-10, Central over Western. Back in a moment to recap the first half, set the stage for the second half right here on BCTV.
Come see the difference at Collier Chiropractic. We are a family-owned local business located in Bay City that offers innovative treatment and care for our patients. If you're in pain, stressed out, and you don't have time for that, taking care of your pain safely and naturally is what we do best. At Collier Chiropractic, we have an award-winning chiropractic and massage therapy team. We believe in delivering the best care and service to every patient. same-day appointments, evenings, and Saturday morning appointments. If you've tried other chiropractic care, physical therapy, or even medication with no results, visit Collier Chiropractic.
Back at the Collier Chiropractic halftime show here on Bay County TV, Jeff Doan and Jason Newsham. We saw a tale of two quarters in the first half.
Great minds think alike, because I was just about to say a tale of two quarters. Central with the first quarter 14-0. Western dominating the second quarter, going 10-0. Unfortunately for Western, it still puts them down 14-10, but I think the momentum is going back in the Warriors' favor.
Well, when you control the second quarter and then halftime comes, then you've got to start over in the third quarter to pick it back up. So I love watching the first series for each team in the third quarter, because the adjustments that they make are going to be invaluable to see how the second half plays out.
I think knowing where your defense's strengths were there for the Warriors, and honestly, Central's defense is playing lights out right now. They've given up the 10 points, but 4 possessions. But you're coming out in the second half. Your last possession on defense, you stop Central. You forced into a 3-and-out. Trying to really continue on that momentum of the defense. So what more can you do besides, again, let that adrenaline from the first quarter wear off a little bit, let the guys kind of settle into their own skin a little bit. And I think in the second quarter you saw more of what Western is and what Western can do. And now on the other side of it, what adjustment Central is going to make offensively. They had 2 really nice drives. Sawinski with the long touchdown run. I thought they moved the ball, and I thought they had a lot of good fluid action on offense and getting a lot of touches with a lot of guys. So it's going to be important that you come out a little bit and do this, you come out and do this. You know, there's a lot of different things you can think about, which, again, as you mentioned on air, why we don't get paid to make those decisions.
Well, and I think Central was the first team to relax and get into the flow. But I think once Western did that in the second quarter, they took control of that. So you look at the way this game went, and it's really fallen into line from what we hoped and expected that this game would be.
Well, it's a rivalry game, and you got Western, as mentioned in the pregame, playing really for a playoff spot. This is a playoff game for them, and you got Central, who really wants to be the spoiler, but they don't want to lose. They want to get that fireman's trumpet. They want to bring that back to the east side of Bay City, where they feel it belongs. So you've got so much you're playing for that it's really tough to put your finger on exactly what the motivation is. They don't need any more motivation than just getting the victory tonight and finishing this season off on a high note.
Both coaches, season 5, looking to finish season 5 with the trumpet. It ought to be a lot of fun. That about puts the wraps on our Collier Chiropractic halftime show. Back with all the second half action and what should be a lot of fun right here on BCTV.
It's another fall Friday night, and your kids should be
playing high school football. It's a fun game, and it's safer than ever.
It's safe because the rules, the coaching, and the equipment are better than ever before.
As a result, serious injuries are at an all-time low. Seriously.
And builds
strong schools, lifetime memories, and tomorrow's community leaders.
And it's mother approved.
It's a great game, and we want to teach it to your kids.
Back, ready to roll with the second half of play here at the cornfield. Jeff Doan and Jason Newsham, just glad to have you along, as this has just been a great first half of football. I expect a whole lot more of the same in the second half.
You know, we haven't seen a lot of penalties, no turnovers, very efficient football game being played.
Clean.
Yeah, clean. And for week 9, for the build-up, this is as good. And you don't want to start playing that way because of the game. It's not out of hand. You've got to maintain discipline. So I expect nothing more than that, but I think what's going to be big right here is this opening drive for the Wolves on the offensive side here in the second half.
Maitland set to kick off. Looks like LJ might be in the middle deep. Maitland's thunderfooting these things, and this one looks like it could be returnable. It's going to be taken on the 10-yard line with a full head of speed going up. Is that Kazanowski on the return?
Yes, sir.
He's going to be out to about the 35-yard line. Pretty good starting field position for the Bay City Central Wolves. As we'll find out, as you just said, what type of adjustments the Wolves made at halftime, how that transpires here early in the third quarter.
Well, we know they got a couple big guys, 74 Zanotti, 79 Marciniak there on the offensive line, and look to get those guys doing a little bit of pushing up front, try to create a little bit of angles, try to create some gaps, and see if they can get this Central running game going here a little bit.
Up to the line they come. Sawinski has twins to the near side, single to the far side. He's going to come back and look to throw. Nice job by Harris. And sliding forward for a gain of only about a couple of yards, closing very fast defensively. Looked like number 42 on the play, and that is Herber.
Brendan Herber came up big. Again, the secondary wasn't fooled. They were able to maintain their the defensive route there as Frost, one of those two cornerbacks that stayed with McCullough. Yeah, you got some good speed out there, and Sawinski came. But again, when you got good legs like that and you don't see anything downfield, you can take off.
Well, he had to run a long ways just to get 1 yard, and a very, very nice closing speed for that Western defense. 2nd down and 9. Lateral pass on the outside. Harris trying to turn forward, and the Western defense was ready for that. And again, you got to be careful with that lateral pass. That thing's a live football if it's not caught.
Well, the lateral pass was one part of it, but everything seemed to develop really slow. And I tell you, the difference is it looks like Western's playing maybe a speed and a half quicker right now on the defensive side than the Central offense is.
Let's see if Central comes with a little counter action right now to take away from the flow of that Western defense as Maitland comes back in defensively. And boy, against Midland Dow a few weeks ago, we saw Maitland just lay the wood time after time. So we know what his finish ability is.
Finish ability.
Yes, it is. It's in the thesaurus. Trying to come to the near side of the field. Harris cuts back across the grain, making a couple of people miss, and he gets up to about the 43-yard line. He's going to be about a yard and a half short of that first down marker, but nice run by Harris to make it 4th and very manageable.
Patient run. Looked a little Herschel Walker-esque kind of walking his way, trying to get through here, get through there. This is a situation, again, when you got Sawinski back there, you got Harris back there, you got Sparman on a sweep, you got Kaznowski. You got a lot of different options to see what the Wolves dial up here on 4th and short.
22. 22 touches the football here. 4th and 1. Nope, it's going to be Sawinski. And he is hit in the backfield, and he's very, very close to the first down marker, but I think they're going to have him stopped short. Western comes up big on the first series defensively.
Well, what happened in the first possession for the Warriors? The Central defense rose up and were able to stop Clark in the backfield. That time Sawinski trying to get his head of steam going north and south. And again, that's a situation where you maybe try to get behind big 74 there and just let him do what he needs to do and get you that yard and a half. But trying to go up the middle there, Western defense stepped up big the same way they stepped up there in the second quarter, and they're playing right now at a high level.
Well, and it just shows again why I'm not real good at football prognostication. Coming to the near side of the field is Clark. He's got about 4 blockers up in front. Very good pursuit from Central, but look at the job he does of just finding a little tiny hole. Robinson squirts forward for a gain of about 7 on the play.
Does what he does best, and again, you come off of a big defensive stop. You're on your side of the field. You're smelling a little of that momentum coming your way, and get a big positive 7-yard gain right there on first down.
That was a huge play on first down again, as we've just played 2.5 minutes of our third quarter. 2nd down and about 4 yards to go.
Here's a counter play back to Ogosh going to the far side of the field.
He's got running room. He's trying to cut down. Harris runs him down at about the 20-yard line. As again, Central flowing one way, Ogosh goes the other way and gashes off a nice run.
One of the first times that the Central defense got a little bit eyes in the backfield. And again, after Robinson runs for 7, and he started with the ball and was able to pitch it right there to Ogosh on the counter.
1st and 10 for the Western Warriors in the red zone.
Robinson on the keeper.
Coming to the near side of the field again. Again, he has great patience as he gets down to about the 6-yard line. Central is there. He just finds a small seam and squirts through for a huge gain. And that's got to be frustrating if you're a Central defender, because they had the numbers out there to contain that play.
Yeah, Kaznowski and DeRocher ended up finishing the play, but I tell you, it's a plan of the foot. And right now, with the weather the way it's been tonight, he's still able to get that foot planted and turn direction.
Robinson to the outside again makes somebody miss, and there'll be virtually no gain on the play. Maybe a loss of even a yard as the Central defense swarmed to the football.
Yeah, Sparman stepped up, and that's where you look for your senior leaders right there in this situation. You know, kind of things are going the different direction for you. You need to step up and make a play, so what do? You make one yourself.
Well, and when you're the top defender on the football team, one of the things you do is you look for the top offensive player, and you kind of at least shadow them a little bit to try and shut them down. Trying to bang forward.
Julian
down to about the 1 yard line as Julian was able to move the pile forward.
Julian moves the pile forward, gets it down to third down and goal from about the, well, is it the 1?
Yep. And they're moving quick. One more time, he moves the pile forward again. He's into the end zone. It's a Western Warrior touchdown.
Robinson's going, I've been doing all the work.
Boy, what a nice finish that time, moving the pile and banging into the end zone.
Lots of good things right now going Western Warrior football way as they take the lead for the first time tonight, 16-14 pending the Malin point after.
He's only listed at 6 foot 190, but he just runs heavier than that.
He does. He's like a bowling ball.
Malin with the extra point. He's got that thing halfway to Saginaw Township. It's up and good. Time out of the field with 7:54 left in the third. Western taking their first lead of the game, 17-14 over Central. Back in a moment on BCTV.
Inside, outside, or even in your home, there are lots of ways to enjoy amazing food from Bay City Bills. Our dining room is ready for you, and we are ready for you with takeout too. Stop in to Bay City Bills at 1215 Michigan Avenue or find us on Facebook or at www.baycitybills.com to see our full menu.
Back here on Bay County TV as the cornfield is excited for the first time with a lead here in this ball game tonight. The special jerseys that they came out with spotted Central 14, but have since gone with 17 unanswered, Coach.
17 unanswered. The cheerleaders have just finished their 17 push-ups. Much happier than the 70 that we had to watch them put up when we had Midland Dow.
Oh, and wasn't that homecoming night?
That was homecoming. They were getting ready for the dance.
Those push-ups. If they had sleeveless on the next night, then those triceps were popping. They were showing off pipes from all that. They probably had to do over 300 by the time you start accumulating 7 and the 14, carry the naught, and you got all those. There's a low line drive kick, and that is going to be picked up on the 15-yard line by the Central Wolves, trying to come to the wide side of the field. Kazanowski's looking for a seam, looking for one block, and can't get around the corner, brought down at the 25-yard line. As Kazanowski whoever was out in front on that block could not sustain it long enough for AJ to get around the corner.
No, almost like he released him to go find the next person without having Kazanowski have an opportunity to get past him. So a lot of kudos there for maintaining your spot. And give Kazanowski credit. He made something out of nothing. That was going for nothing at initial.
Yeah, he made the first person miss to use his speed to get to the near side of the field, but Western just flowed to the football and made the stop. 1st and 10 for the Bay City Central Wolves.
Be an interesting possession here now for Central. We talked about Western having a must-have possession in the first half when they were down 14-0.
Harris making the first person miss, picking up positive yardage as he gets almost 5 out to the 30-yard line. So nice job of picking up a solid 4 on first down.
So I think a couple things here on this possession. You want to run some time. You want to get a couple of first downs. You want to try and get a little bit, give your defense time to rest. They've been playing well, but the last couple of possessions have definitely gone in Western's favor. Get a couple first downs and try to put some points on the board. Try to get a field goal if you have to. They want to put something on the board here.
2nd down and 6. 7 and 10 and counting left in the third. Harris trying to go to the outside again. Finds his speed on the sidelines, picking up the first down, and Moore makes somebody just fall down to the ground as he bounces off them. And a positive gain out to about the 43-yard line. It'll be enough for a 1st and 10 for Bay City Central. I think Coach Frederick's working this right now, and he's going to come with Sporman on a little counter action play the other way. And let's see if Central's setting something like that up again. But when I try and get into the head of coaches that are way better than I am, usually I lose.
Yeah, well, you've only been wrong, a couple times.
Oh, yeah. Recently. Yeah, I finished it for you. There is the run. Boy, what a nice job of making the first person miss again as Sawinski picks up the yardage. Frost with the tackle, and Frost is getting up a little bit slow right now.
Well, he threw him down, and I think he ended up landing. He may have landed first on the tackle.
He's a little ginger back there right now, trying to regroup everything.
He's making sure it's still there.
Yep. And
that's it right there.
Toes, feet, ankles, knees. Oh, everything's intact. I guess I'm ready to rock.
Well, I like what they're trying to do here. I wouldn't even try and maybe a quick pass out to LJ, too, to let him use some of his speed. And they're going to continue with Harris in this drive.
Harris tries to cut upfield. He's met at the line of scrimmage by a whole lot of people, and Herber is the first that got out there and able to shut that thing down for virtually no gain on the play.
Well, they're going to go again some forward progress there, but he ended up about 6 yards back on the by the time it was all said and done. We'll be right around a third down and
6. We're going to give them a full-fledged 6 on that, but again, hoping to get 2 or 3 out of that if you're Bay City Central to end up with a 3rd and 3. But we'll see what Coach Frederick dials up here and what the Western defense tries to come back with. There's Sawinski banging it up the middle, and he's going to pick up about 3 out to midfield.
I think it's what they wanted. They wanted 4th down to be manageable. So you cut your yardage to go in half. It was 4th and 6, or 3rd and 6. Now it's 4th and 3.
Well, and your first punt of the game was 27 yards. So I think in the back of your mind, if you're not confident that you've got a punter that can boom that ball 45 or 50 yards, it may change some of your philosophy here as you're trying to work your way down the field.
Well, we talked about it when they first started the possession about how important it was to get a couple of first downs. You'd like to do it without going down to 4th and 3, but let's see what the Wolves dial up. You keep mentioning Sporman's name. Kaznowski's an option.
I think Kaznowski just went out, and I think Harris is going to take it upfield. He breaks another tackle. He's going down the sideline, down inside the 30, 20, 15, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. He's into the end zone. It's a Bay City Central Wolf touchdown.
Scan the field for yellow. There appears to be none. It's going to be a good time. I tell you what, they gave him a healthy dose of Harris on that drive.
He tiptoed through the tulips down that far eastern sideline and was able to get into the end zone. Thought Western would have been able to squeeze him out of bounds, but broke a tackle and made the speed go.
Little shifty activity down there toward the 20-yard line, and it was off the races.
Central by 3 pending the extra point attempt by Wilson. Xavier waiting. Kick is up. It's a little wobbly, and it's going to be off to the right and no good. Time out on the field with 4:14 left in the third. Central 20, Western 17. Back in a moment on Bay County TV.
In the fight against cancer, you are never alone. The Covenant Cancer Care Center pledges to stand by you every step of the way. And standing with us now is MD Anderson Cancer Network, a program of MD Anderson Cancer Center, one of America's leading cancer care providers. This extraordinary affiliation gives families unprecedented access to world-renowned cancer treatment plans close to home. Together, we can fight cancer, hand in hand.
Back on Bay County TV as we look at the student body over at Bay City Central. They're jumping for joy right now as they've retaken the lead in this game, and it's teeter-totter action right now. A little seesaw battle going between these two great rivals, both fighting over that fireman's trumpet, wanting to take it back to Bay City Central, and the people at Western want to keep it in their case for another year.
Well, them fans over there, they've been through this with this squad. This is a roller coaster type of team, so they've been up, they've been down. So they're up 14-0. They're down 17-14. They're not quite sure, but heck of a response by the Wolves there on the last possession to take the lead, retake the lead, 20-17.
Xavier Wilson set to kick off for Bay City Central. And that's going to be taken by a front man. He, at the 48-yard line, puts those big mitts up in the air and comes down with the ball. That looked like Sakawi.
Yeah, tell you what, that's one of those coaches say, hey, just make sure you catch it next time. You do anytime you want. Just make sure you come down with it.
Yes, indeed. And
don't let it bounce off your chest or your hands. And
boy, and that potentially was the difference at about 15 yards on the return. So Sakawi with a beautiful play, putting Western in great field position at their own 48-yard line.
4 minutes and 12 seconds left here in quarter number 3.
Trying to go up the middle, Bay City Central with the stuff on first down, as the tacklers were led by Mason Panko as he steps up on into the play and only allowing a 1-yard gain.
Well, again, now we saw the punch, we saw the counter punch, and now we're going to see what Western can provide back on the offensive side of things. They're going to stay with Julian in the backfield. Again, he's more of the north-south runner, where Robinson's more of the east-west until he can find himself a gap to go north or south. Clark, this one's going to keep.
Clark is the keeper, and he's going to pick up about 4 yards down to the 47. And he is soundly met by somebody from Central that stood him up, and there was a whole lot of company there.
Yeah, number 10, Kevin Brown for the Wolves was number 1. And I think after that, you could have picked off any of the numbers that were on the field. They were all somewhere near the pigskin.
But both teams, I'm very impressed tonight, Jason, how both defenses are flowing to the football. Multiple hats on virtually every tackle.
And doing it, and again, we talk about it being done in a clean way. They realize the importance of this game as a little handoff right there. I'm not sure if that was Robinson or not, but someone trying to get close to first down yardage.
Well, and again, he's going to be just shy.
That was Ogosh on the carry.
Yep. Just unbelievable the patience of those running backs from Western, because looked like he was stopped again. He just found a little seam. Maybe he's got a little Crisco on his jersey, and the Central people can't grab him. But he's just able to fall forward and make 3 yards out of nothing, setting up a 4th and 1 right now, as the Western Warriors are going to roll the dice here on 4th down. Central did not jump, and that was what they were trying to do first. They're moving the pile forward. They're down to about the 38-yard line. It'll be enough to move the sticks, and another 1st and 10 for the Western Warriors.
Yeah, they're moving the sticks, and again, the big thing, a couple big things, no penalties. We're just seeing such a clean played football game right now.
We got somebody down right now on the field, and not quite sure who that is. We'll take a break, and we'll check on it and be back in a moment on BCTV.
There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes are also likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education.
Welcome back on Bay County TV. Zane Marciniak is being helped off the field, and every step he looks like he's got a little bit more feeling in that leg that looks like it may have been injured. So the result of the previous play was a 4th and 1 conversion for a 1st and 10 for the Western Warriors.
A couple things you see on the front defense for Cody Wagner, the sophomore D lineman, trying to pump and motivate his teammates to get something done here.
Robinson tries to turn around the corner, and just clipping him by the shoe tops is the Central defender, and I'm waiting for him to.
Sportman.
It was Sportman, okay. That was a 7-yard gain, and I think if Sportman doesn't get him, he's turning the corner, and he might have the green grass.
I'll tell you, you start running side to side, and you're speed on speed right there. Sportman versus Robinson going to the far side, as Robinson's going to try the near side.
Again with another seam, gets down inside the 15, hauling people down to the 6-yard line before he's finally knocked out of bounds. What a tenacious run, and Pretty safe to say that young man is over 1,000 yards for the year.
Just about to say, he came in needing about 40, and that.
Yeah, he was at 947. He needed just over 53 yards, and he's pretty certainly got that.
He's sniffing it if he doesn't, right? Yeah.
Buck 44 left in our third quarter of play, as it'll be first and goal on the 6-yard line for the Western Warriors with another impressive offensive drive.
You know, they've put together about 4 of these now. There it is. He plants a foot, goes back the other direction, makes you think he's going to go to the right and follow the defense, and he just turns it around and goes the other way.
And he picks up almost 5 on the play. He's down just outside the 1-yard line.
Now, this is when you bring Julian in. Bring the bowling ball in.
Yeah, potentially.
No, they're going to keep Robinson on the field.
Let Robinson finish what he started. We'll see. Robinson going up the middle. He's sniffing the end zone. He's into the end zone. It's another Western Warrior touchdown. Back and forth we go in this game. And the old anything you could do, I can do better. I love the way this game is going right now. Jason, it looks like the team that's got their hands on the ball last is going to have the chance to win it.
They will have a shot for sure. I tell you, nothing that we have seen has surprised us. But I tell you, it's one of those things now. Again, you're down a couple of points here. You're Central going back on the offensive side of things. Very important possession coming up for both the Central offense and the Western defense.
So you talk about very important. It's the extra point here, which will make it a 4-point lead, not a field goal. It's up, it's plenty long, and it's not good. He kicks it to the left, so both kickers missed an extra point.
Go to the left.
And it's 1:17 left in the third. 23 for the Warriors, 20 for the Wolves. Back in a moment on Bay County TV.
For over 75 years, Frank's Great Outdoors has served as the Great Lakes Bay region's premier hunting, fishing, and outdoor shopping destination. What started in the mid-1940s as a roadside bait and tackle stand has now blossomed into a 30,000 square foot outdoorsman's dream shopping location. Stop by the store located at 1212 North Huron Road in Linwood, or shop online at franksgreatoutdoors.com to find everything you need to get your next outdoor adventure started.
Jason, we wouldn't really want to expect anything less than a real great dogfight shootout here in Week 9.
Week 9, we've had some games this year where both of us have kind of looked at each other around the third quarter and just, kind of, when's this game going to end? And in this game right here, this is the type of games that we don't care when they end. Let's keep them going, keep kicking the ball off.
Let's go to triple overtime to decide this one.
Yeah, Week 9, let's do it. We're getting paid by the hour.
Yeah, that's it. Here comes the kick from Malin. It's going to be a high end-over-end kick. It's going to be Kazanowski returned from the 6-yard line. He's trying to come upfield looking for a seam. Up over the 25, gets down to about the 31-yard line before he's brought down. And boy, whoever made a tackle for Western looks like that could have saved a huge chunk yardage play for Kazanowski on the return.
Well, Kazanowski ran up the backside of one of his teammates trying to make a move, so that didn't help the cause there, but that Western defender said, I'll take advantage of this opportunity.
We'll do a double duel thing. So $1:10 left in our third quarter of play. Sawinski comes from the sideline with the play from Coach Fredericks. Twins here to the near side of the field. Trying to get that to the outside, and boy, there just was not much there. Western had both Sawinski and the pitch perfectly played. I think Sawinski made a great decision just to hang on to that rock and live for another down.
Yeah, that could have been an opportunity for Sporman or Kazanowski on the kind of like what's the shuffle pass?
Yep, a little pitch pass.
And Harris going out to the one side again, trying to you ran Harris all the time the last time down the field, and he did a great job. And now you maybe use him as a decoy, but you know what they say, you go back to what's been working for you. So look for Harris to get his hands back on this ball.
2nd and 13 for Central. Fake the counter action. Sawinski tosses that out, and the ball is picked off by the Western Warriors. Somebody stepped right in front of Sporman as he tried to complete that pass. And the ball will be down at the 25-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Western Warriors. Who got that INT?
A little Herber out there, number 40. No, I'm sorry, Joey DeCuff snuck out there.
DeCuff.
DeCuff. The play was developing, and Sportman was open probably for a good 2 seconds, but by the time Sawinski was able to get his feet set, where were your eyes at? Where was DeCuff able to read?
Yep. Flowed right to the football and made a really nice interception. He had to go high to pick that thing off, and the Central defense right back out on the field at the 28-yard line.
Yeah, with 20 seconds left here in quarter number 3.
A little counter-action play going to the other side. Ogosh picks up about 6 yards on the play, and that will bring us to the end of the third quarter with the Western Warriors on top, 23-20. Back in a moment for what should be a fun-filled, exciting last 12 minutes of regulation right here on BCTV.
Hi, I'm Zoe, and today I'm here to change your outlook on becoming a referee. Sometimes being a referee can be hard work, but I'm here to tell you that the positives far outweigh the negatives. Just think of the impact you could have on the younger generation, the laughs you could share, and the lives you could change. There's an unofficiated game that needs you.
Back on Bay County TV as the Western offense hits the field. Central way down at the other end of the field. Coach Fredericks trying to rally those troops, saying, gentlemen, we just need to make a couple of plays here, get the ball back. I'm confident our offense can make things happen, but got to keep Western out of the end zone. So we'll find out how that shakes.
Well, Western on both sides of it, Central's defense has shown the capabilities of stopping them. But these last couple of drives that Western has put together really has Western on their heels, or excuse me, Central's defense on their heels.
And I have not seen Marciniak come back since that play. I'll have to look and see if he's out there now. As that ball carrier is number 7 again, Julian. He bangs forward for a modest gain on the play. It's going to bring up a third down and a long 3-yard-to-go situation as the Central defense was stubborn. And there is a penalty flag.
He got a penalty flag, and he's walking away from it. So
he's walking all the way down to the back, Judge. 2, 5, 7, 10. Trying to see if there were too many players out there.
Yes, there were. Yes, there were.
Yep, there were 12. And when you see that play, and that is post play, that is a 15-yard penalty, which in this case would be half the distance to the goal.
Well, I got a question for you. Let me start with this.
Right.
Why is it 15 when the referees miss it in the first place?
Well, if the referee sees it, well, the back judge in this point counts the defense. It's a 5-yard penalty if they get it pre-snap. If it's not caught pre-snap, it's 15.
But why, when the referee makes a mistake?
You can't ask why there. There's a lot going on out there for them, but it's going to be a 15-yard penalty. It'll be half the distance to the goal. It will be the first down.
So the referee makes a mistake and you get penalized more yardage.
Yeah, I didn't say it was fair. So, yep, they will have that, and they'll move it down halfway to the goal, and that's a tough penalty for Bay City Central because it was going to be 3rd and 3, and now it's going to be 1st and goal on the 10. Now they're going to start the clock. On the keeper, blowing a tire. Clark tried to get upfield, and Central was closing that gap. Sawinski was right there defensively.
I think he made it right back to the line of scrimmage.
He might have
swimming there, wasn't he?
Yep, he was trying to get it back, but you're right. They are just outside the 10. They can get another 1st and goal inside the 1.
Little Bugs Bunny cartoon come out right there. He loses and trying to swim his way through.
Clark on the keeper.
Do it again.
Finds a seam, makes a couple of people miss, pushing the pile forward. He's into the end zone. It's a Western Warrior touchdown.
Kevin Brown did his best to keep him out of the end zone, but
Clark had the momentum.
He did, and and again, you get in those situations, and sometimes in these type of games, you just run a little bit harder.
Well, it's a great finish to that short drive for the Western Warrior offense, who after the first quarter has really been able to hit on all cylinders.
They've been hitting on all cylinders, but doing it in a multitude of ways, which we talked about with this team. They can do it. They haven't put the ball in the air. They got a guy named Casey Frost Great wide receiver that can do some things as that ball is up and in right through the uprights.
Time out of the field with 11:09 left as we try and look through spectators to see the scoreboard. 30-20, Western on top. Back in a moment on BCTV.
You treat your family with extraordinary care every day, which is why when it comes to their health, more of you choose Covenant Healthcare. We specialize in extraordinary care. From diagnosis to recovery, from babies to grandparents. Learn more about our extraordinary bariatrics program. Sign up for our free seminar.
Back right here on BCTV as we have got 11:09 left in the game. Western with a 10-point lead. This is a huge drive for Bay City Central offensively.
I think it's fair to say this will be the drive of the game for the Wolves offense. Again, trying to get a couple first downs, trying to get some of that momentum back. Give your defense some time to breathe.
That ball goes into the end zone. Central's going to take it on the 20 as Kazanowski says, I was just inside the 10, and that thing sailed over my shoulder. At that point, we let it go into the end zone and safely bring it out to the 20. Well coached, well done, and we'll see what the Central offense has in store for us here on this drive.
Still waiting to hear Sporman's name on the offensive side. You got one on the sweep in the first half, and that was the one touch. And, he's playing both ways. He's playing hard. But again, you're going to have to let your leaders, this is their time to shine. 11 minutes, 9 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. This is their time to make a statement.
We'll see how that all transpires. As Harris trying to move, he flips it back to Sawinski, and a risky play, but he gets back for only about a 2-yard loss. And at first, when I saw that ball squirt out, I didn't know that if it had been punched out or lost, but looked like a design once he was ready to go down to see if Sawinski could make some yardage.
Well, a couple of things there, this side of the field was definitely open as the Warriors' defense was focused on the pigskin, but that play right there is always risk. We talked about in the first when they did that. They called it dead before the flip, but that's just a dangerous play.
Let's see if they call McCullough's number here. He's going downfield. He's open. He catches a ball at the 48 and goes down to the other 47-yard line. L.J. McCullough with his first big offensive play of this ball game. And when the Wolves needed one most, Sawinski to L.J. McCullough for a big chunk of real estate.
Yeah, Forrester and Frost. It was a great throw right between the two defenders. Got a lot of miscommunication on the Warrior defense. Still not trying to figure out what the call was, but either way, nice throw, nice pitch, nice catch, and first down, good momentum for the Wolves.
Kazanowski goes to the wide side on the wing. Twins here to the near side of the field. There goes McCullough on the reverse. He's got some real estate moving forward, making a couple of people miss. He's down inside the 30, down inside the 25-yard line to about the 24 as he makes a great run. And boy, I was wondering, he tried to cut up a seam on the inside. I was thinking go to the outside, and he may have had more room. But boy, when two great plays in a row, you talk about getting your ball to the playmakers. LJ, the last two plays, has picked up a whole lot of yardage.
Well, I think the fourth quarter, 11 minutes left, I think Coach Frederick just took his playbook and said, all right, now we're going to go play. Let's just open it up a little bit, see what we can do, see if we can't get a little trickery and make something work.
Sawinski up the middle, finds another nice seam. Gain on the play of about 9 yards. Nope, they're going to give him 10 yards right at that first down marker. Another 1st and 10 for the Bay City Central Wolves. So a couple of plays to the outside have really loosened things up between the tackles.
It has, and that was a great play call because that was another run option right there. So he could have handed it off to Kazanowski on the sweep, or he could have kept it. Saw a little something up the middle. He tucked it back himself and went up for 10.
Kazanowski. Nope, give it Sawinski again. He's sniffing the goal line as he's down inside the 10, down inside the 5, down to the 4-yard line. So, boy, they've seen something on a couple of plays where he just bangs forward. He just looked like he was a touch gimpy as he got up.
He is, and that's this is when you're just going to hand it off to your other horses and live to play this ankle. We'll give you a break in a second. Just put the ball in the end zone.
Well, you're right. Probably won't feel that injury much until that first step out of bed in the morning.
Exactly.
That's when it will remind him. Yeah.
You're fine, Ed.
That's first and goal. Kazanowski on the outside, cuts back across the green. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. He's into the end zone. It's a Bay City Central Wolf touchdown.
And again, punch, counter punch.
Boy, what a nice job of Kazanowski. Sees a little seam, plants that foot, goes north and south, and tiptoes into the end zone for 6.
Amazing on week 9. We've seen week 6 when the Dew started playing havoc and wreaking havoc with some of the runners in the second half of those games as the temperatures chilled down to the mid to upper 40s. And tonight we just got a great everything for this football game. Great game.
Landon Beckers with a big hold here for a big Wilson extra point. The extra point is up. This one looks like it's through, and it's good. We've got time out on the field with 8:15 left in the game. 30-27. Western by 3. Back in a moment on BCTV.
You're up. There's an old saying, you can never have too many officials. The age of the average official is 52 and getting older all the time. We're constantly recruiting new people, younger people to join us. After you register with the MHSAA, look on the website to find an officials association near you. They'll put you in a position to succeed as an official. We all learned a lot from high school sports, and officiating is a great way to give back to the game. There's help wanted, just whistle.
Back here on Bay County TV. I'd say, Jason, this is everything we thought it would be and even more.
Yeah, I don't think we can continue to harp on that part of it. It's just punch, counter, but it's a great boxing match right here. Great a tennis duel.
Well, we talked about the last drive for Bay City Central as being their drive of the game, and they were able to make it happen. They were able to finish.
Do some things, too, that they haven't showed us much of.
They really showed some other things, and now there's going to be a high kick, and that is going to be taken on the 30-yard line. I think he waved for a fair catch, and that arm went up in the air, and it might not have been his intent. But
he was waving people off.
Yep.
And once your arm goes above the shoulder, referees can't decipher if that's a fair catch.
You can't differentiate.
No, you can't differentiate. Someone you can't officiate. You're lucky. Running after that could have been a penalty, though. I mean, is that still a penalty when you call a fair catch and get it run? No,
because we're going to blow it dead, so it's indifferent.
Not just to do it in college and when they fake it in the pros.
Yeah, that's
the big stuff.
We get that right away as officials, so we leave no room for error there. 1st and 10 for the Western Warriors, trying to come to the near side of the field. Central looks like they've got this slowed down. Look at Zanotti coming from the backside. But a great run that time, as Clark looks like he picked up a chunk of real estate.
He did. It was a nice fake. It got the defense going. Everyone was swinging that way. They just weren't able to track him down. I thought Kazanowski had a beat on him, force him back to the inside.
A good thing he didn't force him back to the inside, because the Lucanator was coming from Bay City Central from the backside.
I thought he was going to grab him by the waist. Okay, we'll put you over here.
Boy, that was great determination as Zanotti tried to get back in that play, but gain of about 11 yards, 1st and 10. Another handoff, banging forward. Boy, he saw the hole, just put the shoulder down and bangs through for a gain of about 6 yards on the play.
We always talked about their last drive being important to them, and they were able to score on the short field, but we also talked about the turnover battle, and right now it's 1-0 in favor of Western on that central interception, and they were able to capitalize and put those. That's the difference in your scoreboard right now, folks.
Yep, the turnover turned into points, and that's where we're at right now. Is we are down to a tickling 7 minutes left in this game. Western by 3 points. They're taking their time coming up to the line of scrimmage. I would be waiting until that back judge goes up with the 10, as they are trying to be a little patient. That is up now, and they're making it happen. Oh, gosh, on the outside, and he is shut down at the line of scrimmage. Oh, gosh, is able to actually push forward for a couple of yards. Looked like Kazanowski had him out there and stood him up. Nope, that was number 5 defensively, Ben Facundo. And Facundo was trying to make him slow down enough, hoping the cavalry was going to show.
Well, the cavalry came in the form of Dalton DeRocher with the assist on the tackle there, as keep that 3rd down in about 4.5.
And again, I think if you're Coach Willards here, you're looking to get 2 to 3 on this play and then have options on fourth down. We'll see how that goes on a third down and a long 3-yard-to-go situation. Trying to cut the ball upfield, looking like short of the first down mark. Looks like out of bounds. Might have only got a yard on the play. It's going to be fourth down and a solid 2-yard-to-go situation. And going to be a very interesting thing for Coach Willards. I think he's one of those people that'll roll the dice, and I think that they're potentially going to want to take a timeout and talk things over. I'm not going to prognosticate, but I'll come back with the answer in just a moment on BCTV.
Is your pain holding you back from things you enjoy, like playing with your grandchildren or participating in a sport? At Collier Chiropractic, we specialize in neck pain, back pain, headaches, or sciatica that won't go away. If you've tried chiropractic, you've tried physical therapy, you've gone to your medical doctor with no results, or you take medication and it doesn't even touch your pain, then put this number in your phone, give us a call, see how we're different at Collier Chiropractic, Bay City.
Back on BCTV on a fourth down and 2-yard-to-go situation. This is going to be a huge play in determining the outcome of this football game. Both are stacked in close. Here they go. Fourth down and 2.
Big point of emphasis, don't jump off sides. Make them snap the ball.
Banging forward, picking up the first down by 2 or 3 yards as the Western offensive line was just able to get enough of a push that they were able to move the sticks. Another 1st and 10 for the Western Warriors.
Well, after that touchdown run that Clark put on the board on their last possession, he has been running extremely hard, going up and down, and now you bring back Robinson with that speed on the corners. As Julian comes out, looks like he's got a little shoulder, touching the shoulder a little bit, which we already know is a weaker spot for him.
Well, and Clark, too. What you've got when you call that on fourth down, you don't even have to take any worry into an exchange or anything. You just got to get the ball and move forward. And looks like Robinson to the outside again, making somebody miss, making a second person miss. Going down the sideline, he outruns Sportman and finally gets knocked out of bounds, and there's a penalty flag down late here as they're going to be out of bounds at about the 12-yard line.
I hope that's not a late hit.
I do not believe there was anything late. Again, I'm trying to look through fans here out my side window, and
maybe a push, but I mean, come on.
If that is a late hit, I really didn't see much there.
Well, I don't like to get into the heads of the coaches like you do, and I surely don't like to get in the heads of these guys.
You know, looking to see if I saw any illegal blocks. I did not see a lot there.
Could have been a sideline situation.
Sideline warning against the Western Warriors.
Because he did get ran over, he did get tripped. So they're going to mark him off 15?
Yep.
It's not a warning.
Well, that's sideline interference, not a sideline warning.
So they knocked when they knocked the official down there, your line judge.
Yep, that is the right call for what happened, but not the right signal for it. So 1st and 10 for Western. More importantly for Western, they maintain possession of the ball. They moved the sticks, so they got a first down with 5:21 left. They're down in deep into Central Territory, so clock's in their favor right now.
I'll just be happy that didn't turn into a 1st and 25, as that one's going to go back to Malin on the counter.
Malin picks up only a couple of yards, and he gets down to the 25-yard line. So Western digging deep into their bag of tricks, trying to show off speed, counter action, power running. They're trying to do it all. Central very nicely shut that play down. Looked like Sawinski on that tackle on the far side.
Well, I think the big thing here for the Central defense is now that we're under 5 minutes, you know every play is going to take you about 35 seconds from the time you get the tackle to the time they snap the ball again, and how important it is for you to stay disciplined in this situation.
Well, Western really is in field goal range already as Clark comes forward. He says, I'm not thinking field goal there, Mr. Doan. I'm trying to put it in the end zone, as it will bring up a 3rd and short again as Clark comes up with another big run where he's moving the pile.
He is, and he's just following the guys up front, following the blocks. He's letting that central, the defensive ends are going up the field, and it allows their interior guys to, open up some gas when you got those guys just pushing a little bit harder right now. That central or the Western offensive front right now, I think, is winning the battle.
Well, Central's trying to guesstimate defensively, and you know who's going to get the ball now? The power back, Julian, bangs forward for another little gain, and it's going to be enough to move the sticks. As it looked like DeRocher led the tacklers for Bay City Central. Somebody's still down on a knee for Bay City Central.
Just getting a shoot tied. They'll shoot tied situation. For under 4 minutes here to play in quarter number 4. You're right. They're in field goal range. They'd like to put the touchdown, the exclamation point on this second half and on this comeback victory. Keep the fire trumpet here. Is that it's been here for 2 years. The fireman's trumpet's been here for 2 years. They'd like to put the third year right now.
And again, they're really doing a nice job. They're waiting until the back judge is down to his final 5 count. And Clark's going forward on first down, and he's going to pick up 2 or 3 yards on the run. Sporman just shuts him down in the hole after a gain of about 2.
Yeah, right now Sporman was just trying to rip the ball out of Jackson's hands. And again, you know what's coming. You know that the other team is playing desperate, so you're going to have to hold on to that ball a little bit tighter because Western right now has not turned the ball over once this game. Played a very clean game and are very excited about what's happening. Number 34, Jacob Maurer for the Warriors are trying to encourage his student section here to make some noise.
It's a huge point in the ball game. Central, I believe, has all their timeouts remaining. Clark again making the first person miss. He gains about 6 down to the 7-yard line. Going to be third down and short again as they fake the handoff and they just freeze the linebackers long enough for Clark to get to the outside.
Yeah, I tell you, again, he's making the right read, giving it to Julian when need be, giving it to Robinson when need be, and other times he wants just to finish this game up. He's like a closer. He wants to make sure he's like a Mariano Rivera out there.
He is making it happen again. We're down to 2:12 and counting left in the game. And the back judge hasn't even gone up with the 10 seconds yet. So Clark, he's not worried about that. He's handing that ball off, and it looked like Julian, by the way he ran, he's into the end zone. It's a Western Warrior touchdown.
That may be what you just heard was the final nail being put in the coffin of this game. 36-27, making it a 2-possession game with just under 2 minutes left here in the final quarter.
Boy, what a game this has been, and what a run that time for Lucas Julian as he just banged forward, and he had a full head of steam. Whoever from Central that came up in the hole got driven back at the end of the play, and into the end zone goes Julian with Malin to attempt the extra point. There's a high exchange. The kick is up. It's plenty long, and it's good. Timeout on the field with $1:59 left in the ball game. Western by 10. Back for the final 2 minutes in a moment on BCTV.
Village Towing and Auto Repair of Kaukaulin and Bay City is here to help you in your hour of need with fast and friendly service. With over 30 years of towing experience, we know how to get the job done quickly and safely. From big to small, we do it all. Give us a call at 989-684-9607 for all your towing needs.
Back here on Bay County TV, I'd like to thank our sponsors, Covenant Healthcare, Collier Chiropractic, Bay City Bills, Village Towing, Frank's Great Outdoors, the Bay City Public Schools, and the All Saints Booster Club. All people that are on board to make it happen this year, as we've had a great year of football, and this is Week 9, and we'll see what the last 159 of Week 9 brings us here out at the cornfield.
Well, it's going to take a little magic for the Wolves right now if they're going to have a chance. They're going to need to score quick, and then you got to play the onside kick. They got the Music City Miracle. There's things that can happen, and the best thing right there is let no time run off the clock and take the ball to 20.
Well, and what a weapon to have, somebody like Mr. Malin that can just drive that thing into the end zone.
The junior.
Give Central any opportunity to have a big run back.
Well, yeah, you avoid the run back, and we saw Kaznowski a couple times. We know what LJ can do when he gets his hands on the ball, so you eliminate those offensive options for the Wolves and put your defense back on the field where they have really taken control after giving up a 14-0 lead to start this game. They've outscored them since the first quarter, 37-13.
Central's got their work cut out for them in the final 1:59 of this game.
And we're going to have timeout called by the Warriors.
I would say Western wanted to look at the alignment from Central and call the timeout. We'll take another quick break and be back in a moment on BCTV.
Thinking about high-quality education with highly qualified teachers and a wide variety of quality programs? Look no further than Bay City Public Schools.
There's wonderful teachers, wonderful educators, administrators. It's a great place to go to school.
We include everybody and we have a very diverse student base.
At Bay City Public Schools, the teachers are truly there to see the students succeed.
Bay City Public Schools, exceptional opportunities for all. Call us to enroll today, 989-686-9700.
Back on Bay County TV after the Western Warrior timeout. Central runs Twins to the wide side of the field here, just showing a little different look as Frost runs to the wide side of the field defensively. And they run a little quick screen to the outside. Central picking up positive yardage and, more importantly, stepping out of bounds.
I like that play call. I thought earlier in the game they could have maybe got it out to him a little bit quicker. The way that the Warrior defenses, the quarterbacks were playing 10 yards off the ball. You let them make the first guy miss. If you make the first guy miss, good things are happening.
20-yard gain and you get out of bounds to stop the clock. So
8 seconds only went off the clock.
Nice chunk play for Bay City Central. Twins to the near side of the field this time. As Sawinski's back to pass again. Has a quick pass on the outside, and it is complete, but unable to get to the outside. Nope, they're going to say that Kaznowski dropped the ball.
Yeah, he had eyes going up the field before he was able to watch it into the basket there. So bring up a 2nd and 10. 4 seconds off the clock. Nothing lost.
Well, and I see what Bay City Central is doing right now, and the Western defense has got to be patient and let Central do this, because if Western thinks that Central's going to keep going to the outside and you run LJ on a fly route and there's nobody home, you got to really caution against that. They need to work their way through. Motion here to the near side. They're going to have a little pitch pass to the outside. What a great catch, but shut down as LJ McCullough caught what would have been a live football had he not been able to reel it in. And Coach Willard says, get back on defense. Central's going to go up quick to the line of scrimmage here.
Yeah, I thought that may have been a second pass, too, with the way that was being set up. But I think that would have been ran more for Kaznowski to make that second pass, which I thought we would have saw tonight.
Well, we still got a minute and a half left. Sawinski back. He's trying to run for his life right now, and here comes the Western pressure.
Timeout by Central.
Going to bring him down, and this will be 4th down and about 20 yards to go for Bay City Central. So, if there's time, Sawinski's just going to launch it deep. So we'll take a quick break and be back in a moment on BCTV.
Inside, outside, or even in your home, there are lots of ways to enjoy amazing food from Bay City Bills. Our dining room is ready for you, and we are ready for you with takeout too. Stop in to Bay City Bills at 1215 Michigan Avenue, or find us on Facebook or at www.baycitybills.com to see our full menu.
Play of the game coming up for Bay City Central. 4th down and 20 yards to go with a $1.05 left in regulation. Bay City Central needs 20 yards to even keep this ball for the last minute of the game. We'll see what they were able to dial up on that last time out.
Would you call it the Village Towing Key play of the game?
Indeed. Sawinski's back. He's got time. The ball is picked off. Flying down the field and running out of bounds, then that will be all as Sawinski has that thing out of bounds, but it will be the victory formation for the Western Warriors.
Yeah, he threw that little fly pattern, just trying to get something going down. Austin Forrester stepped in, made a nice play. We talked a little bit about the article about Austin Forrester and A.J. Kaznowski having some bragging rights come Monday at ATS, and it appears that it will go in favor of Mr. Forrester. And a nice way to finish off, what started off, you started off as your quarterback the senior year. You get the last play of your defensive ends in an interception. You can't take that away from you.
So it will be
victory.
They'll have to do 2 victory formation snaps, the first with 56 ticks left. Clark steps it back, goes down, and does the old genuflex, and they'll be 1 play away from finishing this off in style.
I've seen a lot of little handshakes there from the teams, a lot of love. Yes, it's a hated rivalry. Yes, you've been taught since you've been a youth, Handy, when you're at Handy Middle School, you're at Western Middle School, that you don't like Central, you don't like Western, and it's always nice to see a little love being given between both teams, a little show of respect. Is that going to bring this game to a close?
Just a tremendous football game, and the kind of game where you almost feel bad that somebody's got to lose it. Jason.
Yeah, it's. I've been on these sides of the game, many times, and it's when it's all said and done, you just shake your hands. Tell both teams good game.
That's all there is.
There is no more.
The final score in our ball game, the Western Warriors 37, the Central Wolves 27. Back in a moment to put the wraps on this great Week 9 rivalry in just a moment. Back for the Village Towing post-game show here on Bay County TV as we just saw ourselves a great game. Central jumps out early. Western finally settled down and answered the call.
Just kind of reminded me of like a methodical, not get over your head when the score wasn't going your way, and they got themselves down, and we called it. They just had to stay, and that Western stays true with what they do. Coach Willich believes in it. A couple of early pass attempts that didn't look very, very well. Well defended by Central, like that's what they were expecting, and they stuck with the running game. They were get the ball to Robinson, to Julian. I think he may have ended up with 3 touchdowns tonight. So they stick with what they do, and I think that's a sign and a true testament of a philosophy that a coach truly believes in.
Well, the one player that I think really stepped up was Clark tonight. I think he had a lot of big runs, especially in the second half, moved the pile, but, the Western does it by committee, and they were all successful.
They were, and he started running, I don't want to say like a madman, it's not the right term, but possessed, and, he wasn't going to be denied, and I think, when your quarterback's doing that, and then again, Robinson was able to start getting some things to the outside, and when those little things start happening, it really just elevates everyone else's play, and sure enough, he puts one in the board where he runs over a couple of guys, carries a couple of guys in the end zone, and when your other backs and your defense start seeing your quarterback doing that, they're like, okay, we got to step up, we got to do something.
Up to the last minute of the game, only 1 turnover in the game, so it was a relatively clean game, but that turnover resulted in points for Western, and I think really swung this game.
It did. It swung the pendulum, and here's why, is you were going back and forth. You were up 14-0. It was 14-10, 17-14. You go back up. Western goes back up 23. Finally, with that interception, Western finally goes up by 2 scores. They go up by 10 points, 30-20, and then really put that next offensive possession on high alert for Central. Kate Zawinski leads him down the field. Throws a nice pass to LJ, gets him on a run, gets him on a sprint. A lot of good things happened there, and then they were able to finish it off with a A.J. Kaznowski run to bring it back within 3, and hand it back off to your defense. And, if your defense then they played great in the first quarter. They got 3 stops in that first quarter. You couldn't have played a better first quarter defensively if you were the Central Wolves defense. But they weren't unable to make a stop when they needed to here in the second half. And again, credit Western because they just kept it coming in waves.
Well, they made it happen for the final 3 quarters and made a difference in the outcome of the game. But again, as we talked just before the end of the game, it's almost a shame that somebody's got to lose this game.
Yeah, and this is the type of games that we could have called for a couple more quarters. And, if we would have played 1 more quarter, it could have turned around and Central could have put 2 more touchdowns on the board. So, it's tough to say anything bad in the defeat, and if you've moral victories and things of that sort, but it's tough. It's tough to lose a rivalry game. It's tough to lose when your guys left everything that they spent on the field, and at the end of the day, you're wishing your seniors the best of luck. Moving forward, you're telling your sophomores and your juniors, this was a small sample of what we want coming back next year. So, let's hit the weight room. Let's figure this out, and let's get these results flipped around next year.
Well, it was a great game, and a huge crowd on hand tonight, and a fitting way for Week 9 rivalry. The Trumpet stays out at Western for another year, but what a great year of Bay County TV sports, and a very fitting way for us to end this regular season.
Yeah, we started off with the rivalry up north between Aranac and Bay County and Pinconning-Standish game, and we finished it here in the Bay County rivalry. Snuck in a Garber-Essexville, the river rivalry. So we've had our fair share of rivalry games this year, and it's just a great way to end it. And looking forward to basketball season, the winter season, and not just basketball season, but I'm partial to it. But we'll throw a hockey game or something in there, whatever that sport is on ice where we freeze. But, looking forward to the basketball season. And hopefully maybe we'll get a Week 10 game. Maybe Western does get this win sneak into the playoff territory. So, but yeah, I think this has been fun. It's always a pleasure being with you. Was a pleasure sneaking in Brother Gwiz for a week there at Bay City All Saints. So, just glad to be along for the ride with you and Nick.
We're all blessed to be part of another great season. And again, Nick Page not only does the camera work, but he does all the producing, the directing, the editing. He's trying to keep us in line.
Us down a couple of times, letting us know what numbers we're missing.
He runs the show. He runs from this end of it to that end. So we thank you for all that he's done. And Matt Place helped us out a little bit this year on the camera work, so it was a great team effort. But on behalf of the whole crew, thanks. We've had a great year. Look forward to seeing you in the winter. Have a great night, all.